Gundam review all set. Ready? Go! How's it going, guys? It is Plastic Disasta, and you have no idea how excited I am to review this kit. And today we are going to take a look at the RG God Gundam, or Burning Gundam if you prefer calling it that. Those who don't know where the God Gundam came from, it's from the anime called Mobile Fighter G Gundam. I already talked about how much I love it on my HG Shining Gundam review. Check that out. Speaking of the Shining Gundam, that is the predecessor. The God Gundam is the successor. And it appeared on the second half of the anime. So taking a look at the box art, we see a close-up face of the God Gundam and the God Gundam doing the Chad pose. Taking a look at this side of the box, we already saw a familiar close-up shot of the face, showing off the articulation because it is a martial arts Gundam. The kit, when it's all put together, showing off the runners, the stickers, and the effect parts behind it. Moving on to this side of the box, we see the God Gundam in its fighting poses and the rear shot of the kit. After opening the box, we got 6 bags of runners and a manual. Looking at the manual, starting with the cover, we got a familiar close-up shot of the face and parts list. Checking up on that, looks like we could be using all of it. And as for the highlights of the manual, so right here it talks about the hyper mode, the energy multiplier gate, and the core lander. Except right here just shows off the weapons. I know it's in Japanese, but you can easily use a translator app or look them up on the wiki. And on the back just shows where you put the marking stickers. Starting off with runner A, it's going to be a multicolored runner. We got a bunch of blue, metallic green, metallic orange, and some clear parts. Of course, every real grade's got to come with the runner B, that is a advanced MS joint. Runner C is going to be the inner frame parts. Runner D, we got 2 of them. It's going to be more of that inner frame parts. There's E1 and E2 are going to be the white parts. E1 is going to have this part right here, while E2 is going to have this part right here, and they share this chunk. Runners F1 and F2 are going to be the off-white parts. They share this chunk of a runner, while F2 is going to have this part right here, while F1 is going to be this part. Runner G1 is going to be the red parts, while you have runner G2, and they are going to be the yellow parts. Except you have really nice clear ring effect parts going from yellow, orange, and red. And finally, you have marking stickers and beam saber effect parts that are shaped like katanas, which is pretty cool. So that about wraps up the unboxing, and man, it is a good time to be a G Gundam fan. So I'm gonna put this together right now, and I'll see you guys right after. And here is the kit all put together. Now, when I was putting this kit together, let me tell you this, it is a bit challenging in some areas. So all I could say is that it's not really beginner friendly, but all I can say is that be patient and take your time when you're putting it together. Luckily for me, I haven't broken any pieces, knock on wood. And since this is the real grade, there's no point in me talking about the seam lines because, you know, everything goes well really nicely. But I will talk about some of the marking stickers. Starting off with the head, for every real grade, of course, you have 3 different options for the eye stickers. I just went with one with the separate green eyes. So what I did is for the clear eyepiece, I just take the Gundam marker, color around like the, I guess you can call it like the eye detail, and once I color it with black, and then I put the green eye stickers, and it came out very well. As for shoulders, I know I am spoiling the little gimmick right here, but the gold sticker would usually go on the inner frame, but instead I already went ahead and used gold paint instead. Moving on to the chest, you do have 3 options. Now you can either go with the plain red or with the King of Hearts white outline, but instead I went with the black outline instead. I know you can barely see it, but you know what I mean. Okay, maybe a little better. But that's gonna be it for the out-of-box presentation. Overall, looks really nice. It will look even better if you pen light it and put some decals on it, which I'm gonna do right now. I will see you guys right after. Right, and after a little bit of work, the God Gundam looks amazing. And just a heads up, I did not use any of the silver stickers because as of now, not really a big fan of them because I can easily paint them in with silver. And I use a combination of marking stickers and water slide decals, and it doesn't look bad. Also, hand align this kit. It will make the details pop. Moving on with accessories, starting off with hand options. As you can see what's on the kit, you got these closed fists, 2 open palm hands, 2 weapon holding hands, 2 karate chop hands, and the ball joint can move up and down so you can have like a little flickering on the wrists. I have one erupting burning finger hand, but that's only going to be on the right side. And I gotta give it to the high grade because it has both the left and the right hand of this. Finally, for the hand options, you have two of the open palm orange hands. For the weapons, you have two beam saber effect parts, and the beam saber handles are located on the side skirts. Saving the best for last, you have the ring effect parts, which you can attach to the back. And see this little hole right there? That is where you can plug an action base stand. And since we're on the back, let's take a look of the core fighter. I'm going to have to flip it right up, and just to show it off, you have the cockpit that can open up, and the wings, they can move up and down, and they can separate them when you can activate the erupting burning finger or the Sekiha Tenkyoken. It could also move forward and back, and moving on to the thrusters, they can move down and up. And if you want to make him use the erupting burning finger, I already told you about plugging in the ring effect parts and spreading these wings out. First, you want to pop off the hand just to make it a little easier on me, and flip the gauntlet out. And just a heads up, these are on the ball joints, the little blue ones right here, and these ones in the back, they're all on a ball joint once again, and you have a little thumb that can move up and down. Okay, now that I swapped the hands, open the chest and the shoulders, like I already spoiled it earlier in the video, go onto the back of the leg and open the back of these legs. Just reveal other thrusters. It should look like this. Just don't pull too hard. And this is how it's gonna look, and you bet I'm using this pose as a thumbnail. And speaking of poses, let's move on to the articulation. The head is on a ball joint, and as for neck, it does have some crazy neck movement. Onto the shoulders, it is on a ball joint. It can swing forward and backwards, and it can also move independently. The arm can move up this far. There's a Okay, this is a little bit of a handful. So the bicep is on a rotation, and you also have rotation on the forearm as well. Double bend on the elbow and ball joint on the wrists. Moving on to the torso, it can ab crunch just a little bit. It can move back this far, waist swivel, and it can move side to side very well. Moving on to the skirts, it can move up this far, and as for the side skirt, it is attached to the back skirt, so it moves along with it, and it's also on a ball joint as well. It can move this far, and as for the back skirt, as you can see, it does move back pretty far. As for the legs, if you look closely, there is like a bit of a swinging movement, so it can kick up this far, it can move back this far, and as for the splits, it could do way more than that. And there's also another joint which could bend this way. Kind of reminds me of the Beyond Global Gundam. Double bend on the knee, and moving on to the ankle, it can swing forward this far, move back this far, and it's on a ball joint. And the ankle armor is also on a ball joint, but it's kind of limited. And as for a pivot, well, the front of the foot can rotate, and the back of the foot does rotate as well, which gives you a really good pivot. And as for the front of the foot, it can move up. Well, there's a toe bend this way, and can bend down this far. Overall, the articulation on this kit is amazing, and if you do it just right, you can have him stand on one foot. And some awesome martial art poses as well. Moving on to size comparisons, here it is right next to the standard size RX-78-2. Now, here's the thing, the Gundam is 18 meters tall, while the God Gundam is only 16 meters tall. I'm thinking due to the engineering of this kit, they had to take some liberties to make this kit a little taller. I don't know, what do you guys think? And the moment you've been waiting for, here it is right next to the HG version. And wow, I don't know if it's me, or does the HG version looks taller and chunkier than the real grade version? Let me throw in the high grade Nobel Gundam in it. I mean, yeah, it does make sense because the Nobel Gundam is supposed to be shorter than the God Gundam. Finally, here it is right next to Optimus Prime and another character with God in its name, Godzilla. So that's going to be it for the size comparisons. Let's move on to my final thoughts. Moving on to my final thoughts. Overall, you already saw this coming from a mile away. It's an amazing kit. I mean, I know I sound biased because I am a G Gundam fan. I mean, just look at the engineering, the color separation, the details, all the gimmicks on this kit. And with the articulation, you can pull off some sick martial arts poses, or maybe even some phony poses. You can take like tons of pictures with this kit. Hopefully in the future, in the real grade line, they're gonna do like the master grade and the shiny Gundam. Fingers crossed. So that's gonna be it for the review. I want to say thank you guys so much for watching, and if you have any questions, comment down below, leave a like as well, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to see more content. I'll see you guys in the next video. For this bonus segment, you have heard there is a real great expansion pack for this kit. It comes with like more effect parts for the Sekiha Tenkyoken, and it also comes with a horse named Fuunsaiki. But luckily for you, if you own the HG Future Century Master Gundam, it already comes with Fuunsaiki. Luckily for you, you don't have to attach any, 3mm pegs or anything. And what I forgot to show you is that there is a 3mm peg you can attach to the back of the God Gundam. All you gotta do is flip this panel down and it reveals this. And I also forgot to mention earlier in the review is that there is a 3mm peg on the core lander, so you can have it fly on its own. Enough getting sidetracked. It's just as easy as putting the God Gundam on Fuunsaiki, and all you gotta do is just open up the weapon holding hand and have him hold the little rope thing, and this is how it's gonna look. And if you want to be extra, you can attach the ring effect parts to it. And if you really want to be extra, thanks to the open palm hand, he can hold the Nobel Gundam. Guess that means the poor HD version is going to be left to the side.